Hey everyone, I'm Kevin. Welcome to this Mini Maker's instructional video. Today, I'm going to help you build this kit.
So, starting off, we first open the kit, and here's what we see inside. We should have 3 wooden plates with all of our pieces, 1 battery-operated remote control, 1 piece of sandpaper, a bag with some screws in it, and a motor. So first thing we want to do is we want to unravel the remote control, all of the wires. It's all tied together, so we just want to loosen that up and unravel it. And this is going to help us when we first wire the motors together. So you want to split the ends up a little bit, and you want to take off that little piece of insulation at the end of the wire, and you can do that using some wire snips like I'm doing here. Then after that, you want to twist the wires a little bit so that it's easier to thread through the ports of the motor. Yeah, and that's what I'm just doing right now. Just be careful that when you are doing this, that you don't cut any of the wires inside, because that'll make the connection brittle, and so it'll be more susceptible to the wire breaking. Here I am just putting the wires to the ports, and once the wire's through the ports, you just want to give it a little twist to make sure that the wires stay there. And here I am testing how strongly the wires are secured. And if the wires do get frayed, you can see what I'm doing there is I'm just twisting them again to make sure that they go into the holes nicely. Alright, so once you have done that, you can move on to the next step. And to do that, we need to pop out our pieces that we need first. So first, you're going to pop out these 2 big plate pieces. Those are going to be the body of our dinosaur. And you're also going to pop out these long rectangular pieces. So when putting these pieces together, you want to make sure of the direction that you're putting it. So on the long piece, there's going to be one side with 2 slits and one side with 1 slip. The side with 1 slip is going to face the narrower end of the plate. Here I am putting on the other side, and on your instruction sheet it will also show you which direction to put these plates. After you put the plates in, you can then put the motor in between the 2 plates, like so that the white piece is sticking through that round hole there. Next, you want to just pop out these 2 pieces here. These 2 pieces fit together like this, and so you just want to push them all the way together. Make sure they're pushed all the way together. And you're going to make 1 more of these. Next, you're going to take these 2 pieces and you're going to put them into the crosses on the plates. So they're a little tight, you just want to wiggle them around until they go all the way in, and just make sure they're fully seated. And do be careful to put gentle pressure on the plates, because if you push too hard, the plates will break. So you just want to be careful of that. Now I'm just making sure everything is in securely. Next, we're going to pop out the head and the tail of the dinosaur and attach them on, just like so. They fit nicely into the slots of the rectangular posts that we put in earlier. Here I am putting in the tail. Next, we're going to put the plate on the other side. Now this is kind of difficult because you have to line everything up, so just take your time with it and just be very gentle. So once you've done that, it should look something a little bit like this. And so what then you need to do is you're going to need to secure the base plates on. And so there's going to be 3 screws on each side of the dinosaur. Here you see me screwing in some of them. And we're just going to screw in the other side as well. Perfect. Now, once we've done screwing our screws in, you see I'm pointing to these circular discs with little cross cutouts on them. You want to pop these out. And you want to just be careful because there are two types of these discs. There's a larger set and a smaller set. So you want to bring the larger set. And you're just going to fit these over the poles that you've made and seat them all the way down. These are just to secure the base plates and just really make sure that they don't come apart. They also offer as a sort of a spacer for the other parts. And these parts are also, again, as I said, a little bit tight, so just take your time with them. You want to apply pressure from around the ring, as if you apply pressure from one point, the rings will break, so you just want to point gently. And you see here, I'm just working my way down until it's fully seated. That one was a little bit easier to do. Alright, next we're going to attach these circular discs, and these are going to be the points that are going to move the legs of the robot. So these are really important. They're so you have to make sure that we get these on correctly. So here I am just putting them on. So you want two circular discs per side of the dinosaur. So here's the first plate, and then the second plate. There we go. And just be gentle with these because they do break sometimes. And here we go with this other one. So it's important to make sure that these plates are facing opposite directions, right? So they should be in different points of the rotation, so opposite points of the rotation. Next, we are going to pop out these little pieces. This is a step that most people forget to do, but it's actually really important. So these are little spacers that keep the legs of your robot from rubbing against the body of the dinosaur. And so without these, the dinosaur actually will get caught up on itself. And so you really need these little spacers things. So you just want to pop them out. You can find them around the entire kit. There's obviously going to be some extras because these are tiny little pieces. So you just want to pop them into the holes there. There should be 4 on each side of the dinosaur. Once you've done that, you can just do the other side. Same thing. Alright, perfect. Now, the next step is to make the legs of the dinosaur. So you're going to want to pop out these pieces. So this piece will be the front leg, and the next piece I pop out will be the back leg. So you should know that there's a difference between these two pieces, as you can see. The front leg has that fork on the top, while the back leg doesn't. And you just want to line them up like this. Then you want to take out this long bar piece here and just line up the holes on both of these legs and screw them in. It's important that when you're screwing these in that you don't screw them in all the way. So you want to leave a little bit of wiggle room so that the legs can move freely. Because if you don't, then the friction between the pieces will be too much for the dinosaur's motor to handle. So you just want to leave a little bit of room so that the dinosaur can walk. Here I am just screwing it in, and I'm doing this as I'm doing this. I'm testing to see how loose the pieces are. And there, they can move very freely, but they're still secured. The next step now is to put on the feet of the dinosaur. So here we are popping on the feet, and you just want to make sure that the feet are facing the right direction. So now that you know which leg is the front leg, you just want the toes pointing in that direction. And these are a little bit difficult to screw in, but with a little bit of force, you can probably they just go on really easily. Again, with the screwing, you can take your time with these. Here we are, here's the other foot. And you're just gonna screw this on as well. And I find it really handy to have a screwdriver with a magnetic tip. That way the screws just stay in place because these screws are actually really small, so with your hands it's a little bit difficult to hold them. So there we are. The foot is screwed in, and as you can see it still can move, so that's perfect. And we're just going to put them in. So how we put this in is that the front leg has that big hole and it's just going to go around the circle, and the back leg is going to go around that post that we had earlier. And to secure the legs in place, we're going to take these smaller circular discs with the cross cut out in them, and we're going to put them on the post as a sort of cap. So we want to be careful not to break these because they are kind of fragile as well. And you just want to press force over the entire disc and it should pop on nicely. You just want to make sure everything's adjusted. There you go. And that's one set of legs done. Now we're just going to do the other set. Sorry, before we do that, we're going to apply the cap to the front leg. And that's just the bigger circular piece there. And you're just going to apply 2 screws. There's 2 screws on the cap and there's 2 screw holes on the smaller circle. And you're just going to apply 2 screws to both of them. Also, a good note with these screws is that you don't want to over tighten them as well. You want them to be securely attached but still not rubbing against the legs, because if that happens then the friction will slow the dinosaur down. So you just want to screw these in. Perfect. Now we can go on to the other side, and you just want to repeat this step. And an important thing to note here is that you have to remember this is the other side of the dinosaur, so the legs will be facing the other direction. So you just want to line those legs up right there. Pop out your connecting piece. Screw it in. And this is just the same process, so we've time-lapsed this so that it goes by a little bit quicker. You just want to screw in the foot now. And then place the dinosaur legs onto the dinosaur. Make sure it's lined up nicely. And then you're gonna pop out these round cross pieces, then put them on so that the legs are nice and secure. Same goes for the back leg. And then of course, time to put on the base plate. For the legs, that is. So again, you're going to attach these using 2 screws. Just line up that hole, put the other screw in. And with that, you are finished. So you just need to put your batteries in and they'll work.